Hello, flute players! Today I am here with a video to help you with the Hey Song. So we'll go all the way through the flute part only of the Hey Song. Make sure you understand how to play every single one of those notes, even the low ones at measure 34, and let's get started. So, at the very beginning of the Hey Song, we have 4 measures of clapping. Are we clapping on beats 1 and 3 or beats 2 and 4? We're going to clap on beats 2 and 4. So what that means is you're going to clap when the drums are hitting their drums. And then we have a repeat sign. See those 2 lines with the 2 dots to the left of them? That is our repeat sign. That means we go all the way back to the beginning. So we'll play those 4 measures twice, so we have 8 measures of clapping. Then we'll move on to measure 5. Now, if you've had a chance to play this song in your band class, we have already talked about counting those dotted half notes, but let's review those right now. So a half note is worth how many beats? A half note is worth 2 beats. When we have a dotted half note, we add 1 beat to that. So it's 3 beats, but the dot doesn't automatically add 1 beat. This is like the hard math part of music. A dot adds 1/2 of the value of the note before it. So our first dot will add 1/2 of 2 beats, which is 1 beat. But our second dot will add 1/2 of 1 beat, so 1/2 of a beat. So 2 beats plus 1 beat plus a half a beat, that's 3 1/2 beats. Now, we're not going to count that like 1, 2, 3, 3.5, and 4. No, we're not going to do that. That would be way too hard. What we do is we'll play it for until we say 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. If we have 3.5 beats, our last 8th note in the measure has to be on the and of beat 4. So right after we say 4, when our foot comes up, that's when we play that 8th note. Ta, ta, ta. And then notice I said ta instead of ta-ta because our 2 notes are slurred together. So let's try playing just those first 3 or so measures. Starting at measure 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that was the first 3.5 measures. That's really for you to get a feeling of how long those double dotted half notes are. That's what that's called with 2 dots, double dotted, and then it's after a half note, so double dotted half note. Now, take a look at your whole note in measure 7. It's tied to a half note. So we have 4 beats plus 2 beats. That's 6 beats. 6 beats total. So we have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And then we have our 2 quarter notes. The next 4 measures are exactly the same as those 4 measures that we just played. So let's try to play all the way from measure 5 to measure 13 now. 5 to 13. Make sure you're tapping your foot because after that 4th tap, and 1 is where that last 8th note of the measure goes. Let's try. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's measure 13. So the reason we stopped at measure 13 is because measure 13 isn't exactly the same as measure 5 and measure 9 were. Measure 13 is a little bit different if you look at the end. So we have our E flat, E, D, and then we start changing. We don't go D to C, we go D to F. D, F, and then we have our new note If you've learned Let's Go Band, we've learned this note. If you haven't, it is E natural. E natural. See how it's on the same space that our E flat that we already know is on? But it has the symbol that looks like this next to it. That is our natural sign. So to play E natural, we're going to start with an F, just like we do in our music, and we add one finger. F, E, F, E, just this finger. Just put your middle finger down where it goes. Now, my two fingers like to move together, but they don't have to. This finger's not actually hitting this key. E. There we go. Let's try playing from 13 to 18 now, and then we'll back up to 5 and try the whole thing. 1, 2, 13, ready, play. And that's measure 18. So now back up all the way to measure 5. Let's put that whole thing together. If you need to add a special marking to that E natural to make sure you don't forget that it's there, don't forget to play it, anything like that, go ahead and do that right now, and then we'll start at measure 5. All right, measure 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, play. And now we're at measure 18. So measure 5 through 18 all have really similar rhythms. In measure 18, we keep the same notes that we've been playing, but now we're going to change our rhythm. So the first note that you have in it, think about what letter it is and also how many beats it's worth. The letter name is F. So we're starting on F. And then, how many beats is that dotted quarter note worth? A quarter note is worth 1 beat, and then the dot adds 1/2 of the note before it. So 1/2 plus 1, 1.5 beats. So we're going to play it 1, 2, and then our next note is on and. So we're tapping our foot. This is our foot. 1, 2, and 3. Da, 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 ta, ta. Make sure that second note comes when your foot is up after you think beat 2 in your head. So there are really 2 separate parts to this rhythm. We have ta, ta, rest, rest, ta, 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 ta. The second part is that second measure. So we have an 8th rest on beat 1. So that's 1. Then our first 8th note we have is on and, the and after beat 1. Our second 8th note is on beat 2, and our third 8th note is on the and of beat 2. Then we have 2 quarter notes, 3 and 4. So we're playing 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, just like that. Let's try playing the first measure at 18 only, just ta, ta, rest, stop. Just that much. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that again. 1, 2, ready, go. One more time. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, now let's try our second measure, measure 19. That'll be rest, and 2, and 3, 4. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now remember, we have to count all 4 beats in our head. Let's try putting both of those measures together. So, ta, ta, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2, or 1 and 3, my bad. Let's try that. Ready? Measure 18 and 19. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 1. Let's do that again. 1, 2, ready, go. 4, 1. One more time. 1, 2, ready, go. 4. Now, this section has that thing that we just learned repeated 1, 2, 3, 4 times, except the 4th time, the last beat is different. Check measure 25. So one measure before the big box measure 26, we have and 2 and 3, and then instead of having a quarter note on beat 4, we have 2 eighth notes. Now what note name are those eighth notes? They are Fs. So we have B, B, C, C, F, F, F. And that's how we'll end it. Let's try only measure 25. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now make sure you're not playing any extra notes there. It's just 3 Fs and then we stop. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more time, just for good luck. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think we're ready to put this whole section together now. Let's start at measure 18, and we'll actually back up and play one beat before measure 18. So we'll start on that C quarter note in measure 17 on beat 4. So when I count you off, I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. C, F, just like that. Let's try the one quarter note, one pickup note before measure 18. 1, 2, 1, 2, 4, 4, 4, 4. All right, and we want to be breathing in those rests. So we don't want to be breathing between notes because we don't need to. We don't play that many notes in a row. Just take a breath anytime you see a rest because then we won't slow down, we won't get separated, and it will sound great. Okay, I think we're ready to play all the way at measure 34 now. I don't think we need to talk about these heys. You're going to shout hey on beat 4 every measure between measure 26 and 34, and you have to do it like really loud. Otherwise, it just kind of sounds not fun. So make sure you're shouting really loud, especially when you're practicing at home. And if your brother's like, oh, stop that, or your sister's like, stop that, you're like, I'm just practicing for band. I'm supposed to be doing this. And it'll be really funny. All right, let's look at measure 34. So measure 34 until measure 58, we have these really low notes that we may not have learned, and that's okay. What we're going to do is we're going to learn the note names, and then we're going to play the note that has the same name that we already know. So on our very first space is F. So those first 4 notes at measure 34, we have F. Now we already know this F, and that's the one we're going to play. Okay, then if we look at our next one, the next measure that we play, we have 3 more of those Fs. And if we go one note further down from F, we have an E flat. So we have F, 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 E flat. Now we're just going to play the notes we already know. We're not learning those low notes yet. We'll learn them later. Or you can check out the video that says Let's Get Low Flutes, and that will teach you all these low notes. Next, in our next measure we play, we have 3 Fs. and an A flat. 3 Fs and an A flat. So we already know A flat from 7 notes you need to know. One thumb, 1, 2, 3, pinky, F, 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 A flat. And then our last measure, F, A flat, F, E flat. So we only use 3 notes in this whole section. E flat, our lowest line is E flat, lowest space is F, and our second space is A flat. So let's try 34 to 42. Whenever you play, it's just quarter notes, so tap your foot, keep that tempo super steady, and play when it's your turn. And we'll play together, so there won't be anyone playing in those rests. I'll just count. 1, 2, 34, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we stop. Okay. In the next section at 42, we keep those same 3 notes, E flat, F, and A flat, but we start changing our rhythms. So measure 42, we have 8th notes in that measure. What beat number are our 8th notes on? Beat 2. So that measure we're going to count 1, 2, and 3, 4. Let's count that measure together. Count it with me. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Let's try that again. 1, 2, ready, count. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Now let's play that measure together. 1, 2, ready, go. One more time, go. And you can try these measures as many times as you want. We're just trying them a couple of times right now. Let's look at the next measure we play on. What beat are our 8th notes on in this measure? They're on beat 1. So this measure is 1 and 2, 3, 4. Let's try counting this measure together. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2, 3, 4. One more time, go. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Let's try playing it now. 1, 2, ready, go. Again, ready, set, go. All right, now after that, we're back to just quarter notes. So the most important part is making sure we know that we're going back and forth between F and A flat, and then making sure we know the difference between a half rest and a whole rest. So if you have notes in your measure, you're not going to have a whole rest. So that first measure, let's count measure 42, measure 43, 44, measure 45. That one is a whole rest because it takes up the whole measure. Measure 46, that next measure, we have 2 quarter notes first. So the next one can't be a whole rest. It has to be a half rest. Plus, it looks like a hat. You could draw a person under it and it would look like they're wearing a little mini hat. Then, more quarter notes, so it has to be a half rest. We have 4 quarter notes in the next measure and 4 quarter notes in the next measure. And just be careful, when we get to the 2 beats right before measure 50, we're back to knowing those notes. So we just go back to C, D. Don't try to play them higher than they're supposed to be, just regular C and D. Let's try playing measure 42 to measure 50. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. Okay, and then we're made it to measure 50. Let's put measure 34 section and the section at measure 42 together. Let's play all the way from measure 34 to measure 50. Okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 42. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. Okay, now take a look at measure 50. Can you find the section that we've already played that looks exactly like measure 50? It's at measure 13. Very good. Now, all the way from measure 50 until measure 63 is exactly the same as measure 13 to measure 26. So let's see if you can remember how to play that section. We're not going to review it. If you had marked something though between measure 13 and 26, go ahead and copy that over to where it would be in measure 50 to 63. Like if you marked something for that E natural to make sure you play an E natural, go ahead and copy that marking over. All right, let's play measure 50 and we'll stop at measure 63. 1, 2, 50, ready, go. 4, 4, 4, 4. All right, now let's talk about our rhythm that we have at measure 63. We're going to take those 2/8 notes right before 63 and count them as part of this because that's the rhythm that we play over and over and over again. So those 2/8 notes are on 4 and then we have what kind of note? It's an F, but what is the type of note? Quarter note, half note, dotted half note? It's a dotted quarter note. And how many beats are our dotted quarter notes worth? 1.5. So we have 4 and 1 and. If we have 1.5 beats for our dotted quarter note, that last eighth note is on the and after beat 2. 4 and 1 and. And then we just count our rest in between and we play that over and over again on an F until our last 3 measures. And those last 3 measures are just kind of like the beginning. C, D, E flat, D, F, F. And we're all going to play those last 2/8 notes together, so we end the song together. Let's try measure 63 to the end, and then to end this video, we'll play the whole song from the beginning all the way through. Ready? 63, and we're going to start on beat 4, so I'll count it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Ready? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 3, 4, 1, 2. And we made it through the song. Let's back up to the beginning. We'll clap everything and shout hey all together and everything like that, the whole song all the way through. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, get ready, measure 5, ready, go. 1. 4 1. 4 1. 4 1. 2 3. Hey! 1 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 2 3. Hey! Measure 34. Play. 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. 1 2 42. 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. 3 4. 3 4. 4 1. 4 1. 4 1. 4 1. 3 4 1 2 3. 3 4 1 2 3. 3 4 1 2 3. 3 4 1 2. Congratulations, you just made it through the whole Hey Song. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you'll check another one out. Have a great day.